This is fine. You see the disconnect here?
For a reason. The Prophet does everything for a reason.
Ah, there we go.
Yes.
And the pogroms in Europe for centuries.
Absolutely.
Why didn't the Jews say, let's go to Patagonia instead?
Because they're...
Let me finish. We will not have the Palestinians and the Arabs oppose us. The Argentinians will barbecue some lovely Argentinian beef, kosher of course, and we can eat it over a table. Why did the Jewish people at the time say, why don't we go to Uganda? These are real tangible propositions, by the way. Why don't we go to Uganda? All the Arab nations and all these other 52 Muslim nations will recognize Israel. Recognize Israel and recognize Israel's duty to security as well. Okay, right. The issue is this. You have some Israelis who don't agree. Why was the Prime Minister who made that deal with Yasser Arafat assassinated by a right-wing Israeli?
That's not a question you can ask me.
I'm demonstrating.
That's fine.
He was taken out by a right-wing Israeli. Okay. At the same time, Palestinian factions, namely Hamas, namely Islamic Jihad.
You're calling them factions?
Yes, factions. Yes. You've got the PLO, you've got the PA.
If you want to call them factions,
Hamas,
okay, go on.
You've got Islamic Jihad, the Palestinian factions within the Palestinian political and military system.
Faction is a pretty neutral word, I would say.
So are you now asking me to condemn Hamas?
I'm just saying.
Are you now
I'm not asking you anything.
Are you not asking me to condemn Hamas?
I'm saying it's a neutral word, but keep going.
Are you not asking me to
Let's forget about that. Keep going. We're not going to get into that. Let's keep going.
Certain Palestinian factions have did as we've done that right-wing Israeli and certain other right-wing Israelis, where they have said we don't recognize this agreement. We want all of Palestine back, pre-49. We want it all back.
That is
let me finish.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Let me finish.
Go on. I'm going to let you finish.
As some right-wing Israelis say, we don't accept the Oslo Accords of 1993 and onwards. We want, as Israelis, a Jewish state encompassing the West Bank and Gaza. So they're both at it. Okay. The extremists on both ends are at it. Do you understand my point? Then you have the moderates who say, no, we can have a two-state solution and then we'll make agreement on how this is resolved in terms of a Palestinian state and Israel proper, whilst both on each end say, no, we control it all, and some Israelis say we control it all, or some Palestinians say we control it all. The destruction of Israel.
On what basis do the Palestinians have to say from the river to the sea?
What I've done, I've painted you a picture.
Yeah, you have.
Of the briefly.
From your perspective.
This is no.
We have to introduce that.
This is no. Okay, now, to do with the Saudis and their blank check. Are you familiar with Mahmoud Abbas? Ibn Mazen. Ibn Mazen Mahmoud Abbas, he's the leader of the Palestinian Authority.
Okay, cool.
In the West Bank.
Cool. I've seen his face.
They're who they made the deal with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Palestinian Authority. The Palestinian Authority renounced violence and said we're going to get our land through political and peaceful means. Yes?
That's not the only thing they've said, by the way.
Right. Now, the Saudis, along with the Emiratis and others, have cut the check off to the PA.
And what did they spend that money on?
They said the PA is endemically corrupt and ineffective in leading the Palestinian peaceful cause, so therefore we are not going to support you financially anymore.
And where did they go? Where did they go to get their money?
Europe? America?
Say the word.
What do you mean?
Iran, my friend.
No, not the PA. I'm getting confused with the PA. The PA renounced violence and recognized Israel and said we, through peaceful political means, are going to obtain a Palestinian state. Are you with me?
Yeah, keep going. We're talking about other factions, but keep going.
Okay, right. What this is...
One thing I say is you're saying a lot of things, and that's fine because you're giving a lot of context.
What this has done...
But I've asked you a specific question. Why have the Arab states are not taken the Palestinians as refugees the same way the same way Germany, Sweden, Denmark, and all of these other nations that have absolutely no ethnic connection whatsoever, and they've allowed Arabs to come into the nation. Why are the Saudis not willing to do that?
I answer that.
But yeah, I'm reminding the topic.
I answered that.
Yeah, go on.
Like 48, 49.
Yes.
When the 700,000 left and went to the West Bank.
No, you don't need to repeat
went
that.
into Gaza. Went into the neighboring
You don't need to repeat that.
And then
that isn't the answer to the question.
And then in 67, there was another exodus of refugees.
Yeah, okay, stop.
Let me finish.
Get to the point that you were saying a second ago.
The point is this.
About
the Palestinians, the Palestinians themselves, forget the Arabs, the Palestinians themselves refuse to leave Gaza, refuse to leave the West Bank because they don't want a third exodus. Because if they vacate the land's empty and it's more easy for the Israelis, the right-wing Israelis, not all of them, the right-wing Israelis. Remember I pictured two sides of Israelis and two sides of the Palestinians? Those right-wing Israelis would move in because it's already occupied. They would literally move in more and take the land, and they will still stay as refugees.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? How did Palestine got its name?
It was given by the Roman Empire.
No. Let me ask again.
Oh my gosh.
We claim it to be a city and a country.
Oh my gosh.
It was given as an insult.
Yeah.
That's why 90% of Palestinians are refugees.
Cool.
Gaza, where it was, is Canaan.
Yeah,
was given
it is.
as a promised land to Abraham, Isaac, to Israel. That Israel was before time.
Can I respond to what you said?
What I'm saying. The reason why Arabs don't mingle in the dirt, because Arab wealth do not unless you're integrated. So Islam is controlled by Saudi. Every book from the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, my friend. So Saudi Arabia, the kingdom, controls Islam. So all the war that is in the region, they will not dare do it because it doesn't reflect who they are as people of the kingdom.
Yeah, okay, cool.
But Palestine itself, my friend, if you look at the map of the world, there was no Palestine. It was called Palestina.
Yeah, cool.
So how you have it as...
Can I respond to some of what you said?
We can go on, my brother, but you're not going... If I can go with the hard facts.
Let's go with the hard facts.
Don't get emotional with the old stuff. We have to go for where it's come from. Because Israel is this small on the map.
No, but you just spoke to me for like 10 minutes and you don't even want me to say anything back to you, sir. Come on.
To him.
Israel is a nation that was one of the most blessed nations by God.
Okay, that's cool.
It was touched, protected by God. And that's for a reason, my friend.
The land... Wait.
You need to go biblical.
Hold on, one
second. Not political, because the whole Gaza is political.
One sec. Just so everyone knows, the land of Israel belongs to the Jews.
That's where we need to start from.
But Palestinians are there too, and they also deserve to be integrated into the state of Israel, or we need to either create a second state, whatever. There needs to be an integration and a respect for the Palestinian people. But the land of Israel collectively is Jewish land given to them by God. That's my position. But I want to say something to you, to my brother here, because he's going wild.
Our terrorists. And the reason why that's what they teach them.
Okay, cool.
So the bitterness is sown from the...
No, we agree. I want to respond to a little bit. Yeah, no. I want to respond exactly. I want to respond to a little bit of what Idriss said. What we've done is you've painted a very, I would say, a relatively good picture. Given the time we have, you've given a good summary of some of the kind of geopolitical elements that are going into why Gazans and Palestinians in the West Bank do not want to leave their region. But the question I asked you isn't necessarily why do they feel a strong connection or motivation to stay, but the question I asked is the entire Islamic, Arab, Middle Eastern, kind of Semitic world have the financial power to do exactly what Germany, Sweden, Denmark, and a lot of the Western European nations and Central European nations did by assimilating, not creating refugee camps, but actually assimilating and giving people homes, giving people the ability to go to school, get jobs, and changing the entire generation of millions of refugees. There are no refugee camps camps in Europe? There are none. There are no refugee camps in Germany, Sweden. There's not a single refugee camp in any of these areas, because what has happened is the nations that allowed Middle Eastern refugees to come, they brought them and integrated them into their society. Why are the Arab world not willing to allow millions or hundreds of thousands per country to fully integrate, not to just put them in a refugee camp where they're experiencing oppression, but give them actual liberty and a future, and they have liquid gold. The amount of money, the amount of wealth that is under the direct control of these Arab gazillionaires today, they have the ability to give, they have the ability to literally empower the entire Palestinian people. But what you're saying to me today is that them fighting for a state or them fighting for liberty in a place where people don't want them to be is better than the entire Arab world just saying, come, we will give you a home, we will give you freedom, you are our Muslim brothers, you are our Muslim sisters, we're gonna free Palestine. We don't have to go into Israel and fight to free it. The Arab could sign a blank check. The Arab gazillionaire oil barons can sign a blank check and change the situation in a moment.
I think that's a fact.
That's what I'm saying.
The difference,
and you haven't answered that question. Sorry, yeah, come. You can put on your one.
No, the difference.
You haven't answered the question.
The difference is this.
You've not answered that. All you've told me today is they're fighting over land.
Oh my gosh.
You haven't told me why there's unwillingness.
Sam, I beg of you. Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm getting passionate. I have to say that. But yeah, it's your time. Go on, my friend. Sorry. Sorry.
That's all right. Those refugees taken into Germany and Denmark and Sweden and the UK
fully integrated.
Are from where?
Fully integrated.
Where are they from?
Tell me. No, tell me.
You must know.
Afghanistan, Syria.
Majority is Syria.
Yeah.
With all of those hundreds and thousands and millions of refugees, of Syrians, of Afghanis that went into Europe, does Syria still exist and does it still contain Syrians? Yes or no? Yes.
But how many?
Let me finish.
My goodness.
Afghanistan still exists and there's still Afghanis in Afghanistan.
Yes, because they have tens of millions.
Let me finish.
There's only 7 million Palestinians.
Let me finish.
It's a small nation.
I'll reiterate. Now, when I said
you can't integrate an entire country into Europe.
Let me finish.
Go on. I have to respond to that, but go. I'm sorry.
Are Syrians still in Syria and does Syria still exist?
Of course.
Even though some of the Syrians went into Europe as refugees, yes.
Yes, because of the population size.
Don't stop.
That is the reason.
Stop it.
Okay, I'm going to stop talking. I'm not going to say another word. Go on.
Has the same occurred with the Afghan? Are the Afghanistan and Afghanistan still exist?
Yes, of course.
The difference being with the Palestinians is this. If the Arabs say, come in, marhaba, you're welcome.
Amen.
Let's sit down and eat hummus and shawarma together.
Amen. Praise God.
If they said that, there would be no Palestinians left in Gaza and the West Bank.
Good.
That's what we wanted.
Good.
Now this is a different
conversation. Free. They're liberated. They have a future. They have a future.
Okay. Elaborate and I'll come back. Good. Carry on.
Why would you want Palestinians to remain in land where they're being oppressed? They don't have liberty. They don't have a future. They don't have education. They don't have actual freedom that we all value. That's the reason we're all here today. It's better they go to a country where they have a future. Would they rather live in that society, or would they rather go to a place where they can say, you're my Arab brother, we're one, we're Muslim, we pray together, we worship God together, we educate. There's no hatred. There's no hatred amongst each other. There's no reason why the Palestinians should continue to be martyrs for the sake of validating the Middle East's thirst for blood against the Israelites. It's not right.
It's not right.
It's not right.
No problem.
Go on, you go.
With the unfortunate and disgusting occurrence of the Holocaust.
Yes.
And the pogroms in Europe for centuries.
Absolutely.
Why didn't the Jews Jews say, let's go to Patagonia instead?
Because they're...
Let me finish. We will not have the Palestinians and the Arabs oppose us. The Argentinians will barbecue some lovely Argentinian beef, kosher of course, and we can eat it over a table. Why did the Jewish people at the time say, why don't we go to Uganda? These are real tangible propositions, by the way. Why don't we go to Uganda? Let me finish. And eat and enjoy peace, where the Arabs and the Palestinians are not doing what they're doing to us. Do you know why? The Jewish people said, we believe our land is in Palestine, i.e. Israel.
Because it is their land.
Let me finish.
And Jews never left.
As the Palestinians themselves believe, this is our land. So as the Palestinians believe it's their land, and they've got a right to live in their land, and they've got a right to oppose occupation, just as the Jewish people from their perspective thought, no thank you Patagonia, no thank you Uganda, we're going to go through hell and back, and we're going to go to Israel because we believe it's our land. Same thing.
Okay, then why, let me respond to that. Why in 1948, when both parties were given land, money and resources, the Arab states said we don't want the Jews to have a land, and they fought and lost territory? If you're saying it's just they have the 40 acres and the mule, they're both happy. Why at the very beginning, the inception of Israel as a nation? No, it's an important point. It's an important point. No, I'm not. I'm answering your question directly. You just, no, stop. You're interrupting me now. You interrupted me. Why at the very, you're interrupting me, bro. Why at the very beginning of the conversation of what you, so the main point you just made was, why did the Palestinians, why did the Jews go, look, the League of Nations said, okay, look, Palestinians, Jews, the League of Nations, listen. Listen carefully, the people who mediated the deal. They said, Palestinians, all right, come on man, let me make my point. They did. They're the ones who had control of the land and they gave it to the Jews. Who? The League of Nations.
No, Palestine. The British mandate of Palestine. Yeah. Palestine was colonized by whom? The British.
It was given to the British by the League of Nations.
Okay.
It was given to the British.
And who are the League of Nations?
Europe.
Who are the League of Nations?
Europe.
Who are the League of Nations?
Go on, answer.
Okay, let's go.
No, stop. No,
sorry.
No, you're not cutting me off. I'm going to finish my point. You're cutting me off. My point is this. Why at the very beginning when they were given land, the Palestinians were given money, land, resources and liberty, and so were the Israelis. They drew a line and said, okay, Israelis, you go here, Palestinians, you go here. Why did the Palestinians at the very beginning, along with the allied Arab nations, say, we don't want Israel to have a land? They fought at the very beginning.
Number one.
So the
What's your question?
That was a rhetorical question. What I'm saying is, from the very beginning, it's my time to talk. From the very beginning of the inception of this state, the Arab nation decided to make a choice to fight for something they didn't need to fight for because they already had the land. So they triggered this initial conflict. That is an important point. So you saying that the Palestinians are indigenous and they deserve land, fantastic, give it to them. They were given it and they didn't want it. They ended up trying to take over the entire thing. So what I'm saying is this, as I said before, the entire Arab world have the power to bring these people and liberate and free them and give them a future, and you're saying they should continue fighting perpetually for a piece of land that people don't even want them to be there. Just give the state to Israel and Arabs empower the Palestinians. They can easily rehouse 5 million people, and I can guarantee you one thing, I can guarantee you this, in 40 years when you have Arab scholars, Arab university, Palestinian scholars, Palestinian university graduates, weddings, how do you say wedding in Arabic? No, I want to know. You have weddings between liberated Palestinians living in Jordan and living in Saudi Arabia and going to university.
Enough of Disney.
They're going to say.
Enough of Disney.
No, let me finish
this is reality.
It is reality and it can happen.
Come on.
It can happen.
Fairy tale,
No, it's not a fairy tale. No, it's not a fairy tale.
You've made your point.
No, you haven't let me finish. You haven't let me finish. Let me just finish in 20 seconds. When these people are living in a new Palestinian reality, they're not going to want to go back to Israel. They're not going to want to go live behind the border. They're going to enjoy the liberty they have. And you say it's a fairy tale. Let me tell you something. 150 years ago, if you went to Jerusalem, it was a barren wasteland. There was nothing there. You go to Tel Aviv, it was barren. Yet today there's a thriving community. So anything can happen. Why can that not
What was a barren wasteland, sorry?
Tel Aviv, the entire land of Israel.
The entire land of Israel?
I'll get a drink there. Except Jerusalem. What I'm saying is, there's no reason why that cannot be the future of the Palestinians who then move to the Arab states. They'll enjoy liberty. You're saying they should continue to fight for something that they don't even need to have.
Liberty and freedom. Okay.
Absolute liberty.
I say this.
The same way the Swedish Middle Eastern people have liberty today.
I say this. What people of what nation would be forcibly removed from their land and will be given the opportunity to eat hummus and shawarma and call that freedom and liberty? What man or woman would take that?
What the hell is this man talking about?
What man or woman, let me finish, what man or woman would take their dispossession of their land into another land where, yes, they will be given security. Why, yes, they would be given healthcare. Why, yes, they would be given freedom of movement. But do you really call that man a man? Do you really call that woman a woman?
It's called immigration. It happens all the time.
Do you really call that child a child? No. The Palestinians are saying that course of action is a total utter surrender and a cop-out to their claim to their land. That's number one. That's why I call it airy fairy Disney. That's what it is. Let's call it out for what it is. Number two, what you're proposing is the evacuation of the entire population of the occupied territories of Palestine, namely Gaza and the West Bank, so the Israelis can inherit that land.
Absolutely.
That is a war crime.
What the hell are you talking about?
A war crime.
No one's dying.
Let me finish.
They're walking. They're being.
Let me finish.
How is that a war crime?
Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish.
It's a war crime for the Middle East to take in.
Let me finish.
What?
Let me finish.
Go on,
You're going to be surprised.
I'm sorry.
You're going to be surprised.
You go.
You're going to be surprised.
I'm enjoying the fraternity in this conversation.
Tighten your belt.
Let's go.
What you're proposing is ridiculous.
No, it's not.
What we should have done is, you know what? We're in London, are we not? Guess what? We're in the Blitz. The Nazi Air Force is bombing us left, right, and centre.
What channel is this?
The Nazis have got a naval blockade using their submarines, using torpedoes to knock down, to sink all the ships that are coming from the United States and Canada to give us aid. It's a really difficult time. Do you know what? As Lord Halifax said to Churchill, for example, fact, do you know what? Let's seek peace with Hitler. And I'm not equating them to Nazis, by the way. I'm just using this as an example in terms of a state of war. Let's appease Hitler, and you know what? Oh, British, this is Churchill by the Parliament. British people, you know what we're going to do? We're going to emigrate to our cousins across the pond in Canada. Let's just go and give it to the Germans. Disneyland!
It's not Disneyland.
You are in Hollywood, my friend.
It's not.
Seriously, let me finish. Why did the Palestinians not accept the creation of the State of Israel in 1948? From what I know, from what I've been told by Palestinians, number one, and I'm sure I think you know this. Number one, Jerusalem would have been an international zone, controlled neither by the Palestinians nor the Israelis.
It's controlled by Jordan now anyway.
By, at that time, the proposition by the League of Nations. Jerusalem would have been an international zone, not controlled neither by the Israelis, neither by the Palestinians.
But the Israelis accepted that.
Let me finish. But they had the plan in mind.
But they accepted it.
Hold on, they had the plan in mind. No. Read into it, my friend. They had the plan in mind. The Palestinians said, we are unable to put pen to paper to give up the control of Jerusalem to an international panel. It's not going to happen.
It happened anyway.
Let alone the land that they lived on, which is called the Nakba, the catastrophe. Okay. So my friend, feet on the ground, Hollywood's 2,000 miles away. Let's talk reality now.
Yeah, and in reality,
go ahead.
And in reality, all of the Syrian refugees in Europe today, in Germany, Sweden.
I answered that.
No.
Stop
listen.
repeating yourself, please.
I'm making sure that people follow the point. In reality, all the Syrian and Afghanistani refugees that live in Europe today are thriving. They're living well. Okay, yes, I agree with what you said in the sense that a mass exodus in your perspective or from your view is unacceptable. But the truth is, I've said before, the liberation of Palestine can happen in two ways. A state can be made there, or the Arab world can assimilate these people into their territories and give them freedom. You're saying that the second option is not even on the table. And that's because you have become invested in the suffering of the situation. An objective look at this. You have a nation of people impoverished, oppressed, abused, spat on, treated like absolute trash, who are screaming. I don't care if they can hear me. If you're screaming, who are screaming for liberation, okay? And then you have people sitting here with liquid gold who have the ability to do it like this, and you're saying they should say no, let them keep fighting, let them keep suffering, because it's better that they're there than the future that is literally achievable. It's just there. All it takes is just like several nations to say, hey, look, let's rehouse these people, and if they can't rehouse all of them, then some more Middle East, some more nations on earth will say, we'll take 100,000, we'll take 500,000, we'll give them a future, we'll actually enable them to have freedom. I don't see, and there's no virtue in their suffering. They don't need to be there. They don't need to remain in a place where they're being abused. Because it needs to be said. Because your idea is battle warfare, them experiencing suffering, is better for them to be marginalized in there. No way.
I want to make something clear, by the way.
And you're calling my solution, which is a real solution, Disney Dreamland. It's a real solution.
I'll tell you why.
You're saying battle perpetually. More children die, more women die.
I'll tell you why.
For what?
By your logic, with all the suffering that Israeli people have received since the creation of Israel, by your logic, then why don't Israelis emigrate?
What are you talking about, my friend?
Why don't the Arabs write a blank check? Hey,
what you're saying is so stupid. What you're saying, no, do you know what you're...
perpetuity will give you free healthcare as much shawarma and hummus as you like. It doesn't make sense. It's illogical.
No, it's not illogical.
Let me finish. What you want is the complete and utter surrender of the Palestinians to give up their claim to their land and to vacate their land.
They were given land and they were given land. They were given the territory. They didn't want it.
This is what we're going to do. When the British were in Africa, and they did what they did.
No, you're not making that point.
Let me
No, you're not.
Don't be scared.
Do you know why you're not making that point?
Don't be scared.
You're making a false equivocation.
Don't be scared.
You're making a false equivocation.
Don't be scared. Calm down, sir. Calm down, sir. Calm down.
You're not making that point.
Calm down.
You're not making a false equivocation.
Let me finish.
This is not colonization in the classical sense. No, it's not. No, it's
Sam,
not.
you can't shut me up.
I am.
Oh my God.
I am.
Oh my God.
You're not making this. This is a false narrative.
Sam, calm down.
This is a false narrative, my friend.
Make your point.
You're trying to compare
Let me finish.
Jews who have been there 1,000 years ago
Do you want to talk religion?
to English coming to Africa and they weren't even
Do you
there.
want to talk religion?
What are you talking about?
religion?
What are you talking
I'm
about?
talking from a religious
What are you
perspective.
talking about? This is not colonization. You cannot even compare it to that. But go on, you speak. I'm sorry. You go on, talk. Me and him are cool, so that's no worry.
France in 1830
We're very,
entered Algeria.
which wasn't their land.
Let me finish.
I agree.
Let me finish. They were there from 1830 up until roughly 1962.
Yep.
The 60s, the early to the mid 60s. Okay. The French were so invested in Algeria. Not only did they have people colonize the land, i.e. French, go into Algeria.
Just disgraceful, man.
The French incorporated Algeria into France as a province, as Algeria proper. Like we say Kent, Suffolk, Yorkshire, the French said Algeria, Provence, Bordeaux, Calais, Dieppe. Same. They incorporated it fully into the French state. Okay.
This is not a comparable situation. It's not. It's not comparable. They were both given land. Two nations were given land.
What was your point?
You tried to make an equivocation. No, wait.
What was your point?
I'm going to speak quickly for 30 seconds. No, I'm going to talk for 30 seconds. You just asked me a question. I'm going to speak for 30 seconds and then you go back.
My point of the point is you're diverting.
No, I'm not diverting.
Yes, you are.
I'm trying to make a point here.
Finish. During the struggle of the liberation of Algeria, opposing the French colonization, it's estimated up to a minimum of 1 million Algerians died in that process from the mid-50s to the mid-60s in the span of 10 decades. That equates to 100,000 Algerians died per year for their liberation of their land.
And do I clap for
if
that?
we take the logical understanding understanding of Brother Sam here.
Oh my goodness,
Let me finish.
you're capping right now.
100,000.
This is false, bro.
Do you know what should have happened?
Go on.
The Algerians, because of their trauma and 100,000 dying per year, the Algerians said, do you know what? Let's go to Egypt.
That's not what I'm saying. That is not what I'm saying. You're making a.
Let me finish.
This is issue. You're falsely representing my position.
It's absolutely
Let's go to Speaker's Corner. Because this is where we can attain
of course.
peace and security.
I'm sorry, Idriss, but you've just...
Your logic is a fallacy in Disneyland.
You've just become deceptive.
No, sorry, not Disney.
No, you have actually...
No, not Disney. Marvel! This is a Marvel movie.
Okay, cool.
It's a Marvel movie.
Cool, okay. Come back. You've actually moved into a completely false narrative. That's what you've done. All you've done is try and validate and get people riled up with your position. Number one, I don't support what happened in Algeria. Okay?
Because you did.
No, but you're kind of making a false equivocation here.
No, I'm not.
Second, here's the difference. Okay, let me talk about you, Spur. Here's the point. You're trying to make
I'm going to stop you from speaking now.
Okay, go on.
Let him speak, man. Let him speak. I want to hear it.
You're making...
I'm being sarcastic.
Fantastic. You're making an...
Why is this false equivocation?
Let me say it. You're making a false equivocation or a false equivalency between France, a foreign nation entering Algeria, or England going to South Africa and killing indigenous people in that country, taking their territory, and then me saying, yeah, they should go. No. What happened in this situation, which is what I said at the very beginning, two people groups were given land. Two people groups, both claiming that it's theirs. So they said, you know what, okay, we're going to give this territory to... What the hell's going on there? Oh yeah, sorry. We're going to give this part of the land to Palestine. We're going to give this part of the land to Israel. We're going to give both of them money.
Now, modern day Turkey is after the Turkish-Greek War in 1924, where there was an agreement between the international community, but namely Greece themselves, namely the Republic of Turkey themselves, where there was a population exchange of the Turks of the Greeks to Greece, and the Turks from Greece to Turkey. Okay, it was a population exchange like with India and Pakistan after the British Raj. Okay, that was not the situation in Israel. It was completely different.
Yeah, of course, we can
completely different. When my ancestors came into Morocco, the Berbers, the Amazigh, did not flee to Spain or south to Mauritania or to anywhere. They stood put. They fought a ferocious war, 3 major wars. One of the longest conquests that the Muslims took was of North Africa.
Yep,
but they stayed, they kept their land, and they eventually assimilated. There was no Gaza West Bank, there was no nothing. You Berbers, Amazigh, have to stay in Tangier or Marrakesh. Marrakesh didn't exist. Or to Marrakesh only. Or you can only stay here, or you can only stay in Fez, or you can only stay in modern day Casablanca. They didn't do that. They stayed in their land as a population. So there's a difference. You can't equate that to that. Thirdly, let me finish. Thirdly, you said Islamic wars conquering land. Yes. You said a Saracen curved sword. If that's the case, shouting Allah Akbar, then it is
Come
okay.
on, man.
You said this. I believe Sam's understanding of the creation and the existence of Israel is solely from a biblical religious point of view. You hypocrite! You point the finger at me, but yet you look at your own scripture to justify the state of Israel. Do you? Yes, you do. You do. Do you want to finish? And
white guilt is a form of Christian guilt.
Everything I said.
White guilt came from Christianity.
Everything I said wasn't based on scripture. I didn't quote the Bible once in any of the things I said. All I said, I didn't quote the Bible. No, wait, excuse me. The only thing, wait.
Paul, who are you speaking to?
Stop,
Sam, who are you speaking to?
Listen to what I'm saying. When I said Israel belongs to the Jews, that's a biblical statement. I give you that. I see what's the point.
Thank you.
So I acknowledge that.
Are they chosen people?
Yes, of course they are.
Who chose them?
Oh my God.
And what land did he give the chosen people?
That
Israel.
land, yeah.
There we go.
Fantastic. No, I'm not trying to say that's not not the case. But what I'm trying to illustrate is my entire analysis of everything was purely just based on the historical events that happened. 2 nations were given land, and I gave, in my perspective, legitimate solutions. But I understand your perspective. I can tell that. I do understand. They feel, irrespective of how I feel, they feel that it's their land, or that particular part is their land, and they don't want to leave their home. So I understand that, and that's a factor that we do have to consider. So I can acknowledge that. I'm happy. I enjoyed the discussion. I'm sorry for the hostility at certain points with the crowd, but for the most part, I'm happy that I could speak to Idriss about a very, very controversial topic with peace and grace and a genuine sense of respect.
If I may, thank you. I got a message to the Palestinians. Oh, Palestinians, by you standing on that 7 square inch piece of land, you are resisting. Oh, Palestinians, by you breathing and being alive, you are resisting. Do not flee your homes. Stay put.
No.
Let me finish. Do not enter Egypt, because it will be another exodus. Stay put. By you having children, you are resisting. By you passing on your religion and your culture and your language, you are resisting. Keep resisting in these manners.
The statement that they shouldn't leave their homes when missiles are actually going to be dropped is a very controversial statement.
Generally.
So no. But we need to be clear about. We need to be clear. That's different.
Don't leave the West Bank.
That's a different statement. That's a different statement from saying don't leave your homes when we know missiles are literally about to be dropped in the territory. But you clarify. No, you clarify.
Who's dropping missiles?
Israel. It's going to happen. I'm trying to clarify the situation. Who's firing missiles into Israel? So what's the point? The point is, I do agree in part with what he said about. I understand and accept his approach and analysis to the legitimacy and the sentiment that the Gazan people feel that it's actually their home and they don't want to go to another country. They want to experience liberty on their land. I do appreciate that perspective, and I feel like that's kind of given me a angle that I didn't think about before. And I think that's valuable. Despite this quite heated conversation, I think that was an angle that I didn't fully, you know. 100%.
So I will speak again as we always do.
As always, bro. Big respect to Idriss.
Likewise.
Big respect.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, mate. Everyone take it.